Snoopy, the Red Baron, dogfights are all the rage, and now you can do it in 20 minutes. Hey everyone, I'm Kylie here at Games Unlimited, and it's time to go back to World War I. When people think World War I, they think about one of two things. Obviously, trench warfare is a big part of it, but the other thing is the idea of dogfights in biplanes. This is like the first war where planes were a big part of what we were using to wage combat. And you know, from things like Snoopy and the Red Baron, it's a big pop culture to think about what dogfighting is. Now, there have been a few dogfighting board games around, but this is part of the World War in 20 Minutes series that started with Blitzkrieg, went on to do Caesar. But this one I've been most excited about because I love the idea of dogfighting, and this does it super quick. So you've got a board here. It's telling you what you're doing right here. Big words, dogfight. That's what we're doing. Each of you have a plane, and your goal is simply to shoot the other plane down. You're going to do that by pulling chits from your bag. So each player has a unique plane with a different distribution of chits, and they're going to pull, usually it's 6 chits from their bag, put them behind their screen. So you don't know what chits your opponent has pulled. But you do have a little sheet here that's going to show you what the distribution in their bag is. That's important because this is a bit of a mind game. This is a what movement is your opponent going to play type of game. As I mentioned, you're trying to shoot each other down, unless of course you're playing one of the scenarios that they have. I'll talk about those a little bit later. But you're going basically around and around in circles, trying to get behind the other plane and shoot it. So when you play a chit, both of you are going to choose one of the chits from behind your screen, reveal it, and play it. So in this case, say the red plane played just a single one. It's going to move 1 space forward. This happens simultaneously. So you're going to move 1 space forward there to the next spot. And then the blue plane looks like it played a 2, and it's got a couple little shoot symbols on it. So they're going to move 2 spaces. Now, if one plane is behind the other, which means it's up to 3 spaces behind the other plane, if it has shoot symbols, it does that much damage. Piece of cake. Do enough damage to your opponent, you win the game. So I mentioned it's mostly kind of the mind game of what is your opponent going to play, what do they have access to. The 2 starter planes that they recommend, the blue and the red plane, are symmetrically different. One of them has lots of fast speed, one of them has lots of slow speed. Going faster or slower is not necessarily better or worse because you're thinking about what your opponent's going to do. If your opponent is right behind you, but they're the fast plane, you know they probably don't have a lot of ability to go slow. So maybe you just slow down, let them shoot past you, and then you can take your shot. Of course, it wouldn't be biplanes fighting if there weren't looping the loops involved. So this board actually has a couple spots where if you play the right tile, you can move around and loop behind your opponent. It's just fantastic. Super simple. They talk about, what does it say on the box? It is ruling the skies in 20 minutes. It plays in 20 minutes. Really, I'm going to say it plays in 10 or 15 minutes. Super fast game. Now, that's the basic dogfight mode with the basic planes. But it comes with more than just these 2 planes. I want to say it comes with 8, 9, maybe even 10 planes. And they have, some of them are just like the red and the blue planes, but with a different distribution. They might be even, have like an even number of fast and slow. But some of them have cool special abilities. So there's a plane that has a lot of good shooting abilities on it, but it can only shoot if it's 1 or 2 spaces behind the opponent. So now you have to factor that in. My favorite plane is one that has really high, 3-shot things. Like it can do 3 points of damage at a time with most of its tiles, but its gun jams. So once you've played one of those 3-shot tiles, none of your tiles have shots on them until you play one that literally has no shots on it. You have to unjam your gun. So all of that allows for different mind games. There's one that if you're 1 or 2 spots behind the opponent, you get to see what tile they're choosing before you go. So all in all, just a lot of things to mix it up, make it variable. And then you have scenarios. So there's 4 different scenarios in the game, like the reconnaissance mission. So one player, these are asymmetrical, one player is trying to take pictures of sites on the board. And the board actually has this area where a plane can leave. It's not used in the normal dogfight, but in the mission, the one plane has to take a number of photographs, which it does by landing on a spot, moving very slowly at a speed of 0 or 1, and then it can take photographs. Of course, the opponent knows you're doing that and is going to try to shoot you down when it knows you're slowing down to do that sort of thing. But of course, once you've taken the photographs, you got to get off of the board. So you do that, you win, you get shot down, you lose. There's escort missions, there's bombing missions, there's all sorts of cool things in the game. So I highly recommend you come down and check out Dogfight. Great lunchtime game. I mean, unlike a lot of lunchtime games, you can literally play 2 or 3 games of this in a lunch hour. It's a fantastic game. We have this at Games Unlimited. We've played it. We'd love to talk to you about it. So come on down, pick up a copy, take it home, and unbox some fun.